So here, since inside a pan class, it is not possible to use a print function. So because print function can't be used inside a class body directly, we must write inside a method. So we have only the main method. Now here can we write system.out.println. Again, I'm writing inside a main method only. So println. So print the variable name called name itself. Is it correct? Correct or not? Correct. Now simple type, we can use it directly to print it. Then this name, is it a simple type or it's a complex type of variable now? It's a complex. Then is it correct to write directly? No. Correct. So for example, in a real life scenario, so when we were small, even when we were small, if you want to get a letter on your name, what they'll be writing? What should be the address? Yeah, because the care of our father name has to be there. Then only we will be identified, because we are small and other people do not aware of about ourselves, right? That's why we'll be having a reference. For example, if your village is there, directly can we locate the village from the other place called Bengaluru? No, we should know your state name. We should know your district name. We should know your mandal name. Then only we can locate you. Correct or not? Now for this name and for this age variables, there is a reference. What is the reference? P is the reference name. So without using this P, it's never possible to access the data which is present inside the object. That's why what we should write. So for accessing simple data, use the variable name directly. Use the variable names. We are using X as a variable name. Now for using complex data, the process which we have to follow is use the reference variable name. Reference variable name, then dot operator, then sub variable name. Sub variable name. So this is a reference variable name dot sub variable name. What's the reference variable name here? P. What's sub variable name? Name. What's reference? P. Sub variable name? Age. That is a process to access complex data. Simple data, only variable name. Complex data, reference variable name dot inner variable name or sub variable name. Then, so here what is the correct code now? P dot name is the correct way to access it. Even though it is loaded into the memory, we can't use the name variable or age variable directly without reference. Therefore, P dot name, then the next line of code, system.out.println P dot age. Understood. So this is how virtual entity can become physical entity by using object creation. Then by using object reference name only we can print the object data, complex data or object data. Clear? Yeah. Then here let us take 2-3 questions. Then we'll go for the execution through Eclipse as well. So here for this pan class, here we have created the object. Correct? Can we create one more object inside the main method for the same pan class? Is it allowed or not allowed? Required or not required is secondary point. Syntactically, is it possible or not is my question. For one class, how many objects can be created inside the same method or maybe other methods also? Anybody knows? Sorry? Any number of objects we can create it. For example, so pan p equals new pan is already one object for this pan class. Now inside this, so because of no space, I'm writing here. So pan some p2 equals new pan parenthesis semicolon. Yeah. So here what is the reference name? P. Here what's the reference name? P2. So can we use same reference names? No, we must use a different reference name. So like this, we can create any number of object creations for one class. Then, is it different data will be loaded or same data will be loaded into the memory? So for this pan P2 equals new pan. So because of new keyword, I mentioned the point very clearly. When it comes to new, each time for every new keyword, there is a different or a new object will be created again. So then will this P2 will reuse the existing thing or it will create one more object? One more object. That's why P2 is the next object reference. Inside this, what data will be loaded? Same name and age only or different? Yeah, one more time. Name is the variable. What's the value? James only. Then what's the age? 30 only, right? Inside this new object also, PAN class data will be same. The data will be same, but differently a new object will be created. Understood? So can we create multiple objects? Yes. Is it recommended or not recommended? Recommended? It's recommended or not recommended? Already we have one object creation with a reference name called P. Now is it recommended to create P2? Then obviously it will store same data only. Not recommended. Why? Because yeah, exactly. Unnecessary memory consumption. Whatever we want to do with P2, we can do with P only. Then why to create one more object and consume the memory unnecessarily? That's why my points are very clear. Please, I'll repeat it. Is it possible to create multiple objects? Yes, it is possible. Is it recommended to create? Not recommended to create inside the same method. That's the conclusion. Yeah. Now, our entire discussion, we will execute through Eclipse. This let me close. So here in our class demo, if you just remember, we have a class properties also we discussed in the last class. Yeah. So there is a test class and inside this main method is there. And then we have a variable and we are accessing its data. And we have a laptop class. Inside that the data is there like string and also integer with make and price. Now, is it possible to access the laptop class variables from this main method? No, it's not possible. Why? Because it is outside the method. It is a still object is not created. Object reference is not used. That's why it is not possible to access other class data directly from a different class method. Then what is the process to do it? So for accessing other class data, we have to create the object. I am using one more new term. For accessing other class data, we have to create the object. Yeah. So here, create object for which class? For laptop class. What's the syntax of object creation? Class name. Please tell me. Object reference name, some L or L1 equals new, again same class name, the next parenthesis semicolon. So that is the object syntax. Then by using this object syntax, how to print this make value and price value? So we have to use the print syntax, and inside this, can we print only make now? No, it is throwing error. For accessing reference, yeah, reference of the object. Correct. So what should I type here then? Directly make or L1 dot make? L1 dot make is the correct approach. Correct? Yeah. Yes, Parvati. You're right. Then one more time. So by using this reference called L1 dot, the second variable name is price. So this is the correct approach to print this data. Now, simple data, use the variable name to print it. Complex data, then use the reference name dot sub variable name. Reference dot sub variable name. Then only it is allowed to print. Now let me save this. I'm using Control F11 on the keyboard to execute the program in a shortcut. That is X value, then make value, then price value is the output. What is the reason that the class is not created, not defined within the method? Why class will be defined within the method? Did I define anywhere while explaining? Is the span class is inside a Method or outside a method? Class will not be inside a method. It's a separate class. So this is one class till here. So this is one class with main method. It's ending here itself. This is one more class. So now in place of this span in the Eclipse, laptop class is there. That's all. What is your question and is it following?
Instead of creating the object and the class, why can't we define the class within the method?
That's not a allowed syntax in Java. It's not possible to write like that. Yeah, understood. Next property that we discussed is it possible to create multiple objects for the same class? Yes, by using a different variable name. So laptop space L2 equals new, again laptop, then semicolon. So it is accepted. Then can we use this reference also to access the same data? Yes, L2 dot make we can use, then followed by again print function, then L2 dot price also we can use it. But the problem is, since we are accessing the same data, because of the second object creation, one more time, same data will be loaded into the memory, which is unnecessary memory consumption. That's why inside the same method, it's never recommended to create the object more than once. Only once is enough. Understood? Yeah. Yeah. So this is about the object concept in Java program. And so with this, we discussed two object oriented programming features. One is what is class and one is what is object. Because Java is a class based programming language, we cannot write anything outside the class. Other than this package and import statements, we cannot write anything outside the class. So with this, the first two features are there, and the next we are focusing on logical programming parts like methods, what's the purpose, conditions, loops, arrays, strings, and all. So after this only we'll go to the remaining OOPS features. Okay. So with this discussion, so I want you to understand this class and object very, very clearly. For you to practice the same thing, the assignment based on the class and object. So first one, create one Aadhaar class. Sorry, class name is Aadhaar. What is the purpose of it? To store your data. Okay. Try to use different variables to store a different type of data from the Aadhaar. Dummy information only. Don't give the actual information. This is only for practice. Then what is the second step to do? Second step, create a test class or sample class of your choice with main method. This test class should have a main method. Then what is step 3? Create the object. Create object for Aadhaar class where inside main method and then print the Aadhaar data. Print Aadhaar class data. It's the same thing. What we did, create a laptop class and take one more test class with main method. Inside the main method, create the object for the laptop class. Then print the laptop data. That's what is our example says. Now the same thing for the practice. I am asking you to create a Aadhaar class and print the Aadhaar data. Like you can create one more class called brother class or sister class, mother class, father class, and take one more class called test and take the main method for that and create the object for that class and print it. Like this, any 3 to 4 examples I want you to practice so that it will become familiar and you'll understand the flow. Yeah. And one more thing, first I suggest you to write the handwritten code, like how it is explained, first by writing, second by executing the same thing. Okay, first practice by writing the handwritten code, then only go to execute in Eclipse. Yeah, is it understood? Yeah. So with this, I will stop for the day. Once this understanding is clear, I hope everybody will do this. Then in tomorrow's class, we'll go for next important concept called methods in Java.